Kuwait's history is firmly linked with the sea. The experience of the old Kuwaitis and their struggle with the sea form a part and parcel of the country's heritage. Shipping, pearl diving, and fishing were the main sources of income before the discovery of oil. Kuwait used to own a commercial fleet which reached India, coasts of Arabian Peninsula, and East Africa, besides a pearl diving fleet. Though pearl diving campaigns had come to an end with the flow of oil, yet we were keen to launch this pearl diving campaign, especially for the production of this documentary film, which is the second part of Al-Adan pearl diving, entitled الردة. Al-Radda pearl diving campaigns start with the preparation of ships. This includes arrangement of ropes, maintaining old sails and providing new ones, fixation of the masts, fastening of the ropes of zabal, which are stones used by the divers to enable them sink easily to the bottom of the sea. Moreover, preparation arrangements include fastening of the obstructive pieces of wood which carry the sails and testing the pulleys which help in moving the sails easily. Some carpentry works are also made to maintain or repair any part of the ship that needs them. The shipyard becomes like a beehive. Every sailor is engaged in a certain job. Even Abu Saleh, who grew old, is completely absorbed in fixing diving stones. Sails are usually raised on the shore to provide shadows or for the purpose of organization thereof or measurement. When arrangements are completed, ships are dragged to the water by a collective assistance of sailors who, by acting as such, embody the spirit of the one family. Ships are then loaded with provisions waiting for the morning of the next day to start sailing towards the diving areas. On the way to the diving areas, sailors and leaders of all ships would have opportunities to realize the most experienced among them in recognizing the diving spots. They follow him until they reach the suitable place where they lay down their anchors and start a torha operation, which means putting down sails of the ships in preparation for diving. If the seawater was relatively warm, الردة pearl diving methods do not differ from al-adan. Divers close their noses with al-fitam, carry the dayin for collecting shells round their necks, and use the zabel stones to sink to the bottom of the sea. They collect shells and ascend to the ships every now and then for emptying their dayins of their collected shells. The difference between al-Radda and al-Adan pearl diving is that the latter normally lasts for 3 to 4 months, while in the first, only few ships return to the nearby diving spots for not more than a couple of weeks before winter comes and seawater becomes very cold. On calm, windy mornings, sailors use oars to reach diving spots. Naturally, this adds additional efforts and causes more hardships to the divers. Normally, two sailors row, while a nokhada, the leader of the ship, holds the rudder. Some ships might raise sails besides rowing to benefit even partially from the wind. But if it was clear that there was no use of this, sails are wrapped around the masts. When the front ship reaches Al-Hair, or the diving location, other ships approach and start anchorage and putting down sails. Some ships loosen their sails to be ready for moving to other locations. When the seawater becomes cold, divers practice a rawasi type of diving, which is much easier than the traditional type, al-hayyari. This type provides the diver with the ability to move and does not limit the period of his stay under the water. Here, all sailors dive, leaving nobody on board the ships. Some sailors even raise the anchors, letting their ships move along with the current in the same direction of their movements. Many kinds of fish and plenty other organisms live in the bottom of the sea. There also are various rocky gorges and coral reefs which form basic sources of shells. Uprooting shells requires a special skill to avoid hurting the diver's hands, as most shells have edges as sharp as knives. In rawasi diving, divers carry the dayin around their necks or the shamta, a fiber sac tied up to the diver's belly. Divers may come near each other, exchanging talks about the sea and their families at home. These talks are of vital importance in providing divers with a lot of enthusiasm, encouragement, and recreation. Aloha is a very friendly bird and an active diver too. Here, it is diving near our friend Bumharib to collect its livelihood from the water, as if it reminds him that survival is not only limited to man, but also includes all living things. Shark is one of the major dangers of the sea, as it shares the divers' survival and search for means of living. If any diver sees a shark, he shouts loudly, "Ohali, ohali," warning the divers who hurry to their ships while the shark goes around exposing its powers and intentions. Ships then raise their sails and move to another diving spot or seek refuge at the coast. Sailors suffer a lot from an operation known locally as a taglis. When strong winds blow on the opposite direction of the sailing ships, the sailors proceed to drag the ships close to the shore for long distances till they reach suitable points where they raise the sails again and sail toward the required destination. Naturally, this needs a sound estimation of the distance the sailors have to cover before they utilize the wind in moving their ships to their destination. Habitually, ships are dragged by ropes tied at the middle of the masts and stretched to the shore, as keeping ships in the water provides a partial dragging support to the sailors handling the job. Nobody is left on board the ship in this operation except the leader who holds the rudder. When the seawater becomes too cold and diving becomes impossible, sailors start what is locally called limjanna diving. In fact, it is not a real diving in the traditional meaning of the word. It is mere searching for shells among rocks in the tidal areas along the shores. It is worth saying that sailors collect plenty of shells in this type of pearl diving. Some of them include big pearls, which are more precious than other ones. It is the bounty of God, which he bestows on whom he wishes. As the weather worsens and the high sea becomes intolerable, sailors get prepared for return. They gather in one fleet and head towards home, hoping for the best of luck and bounty from God, and pleading him to meet their families and folks in good health to enjoy the blessings of return and reunion. When the ship reaches the coast, it is kept in a spot of shallow water known as a niga, in a preliminary step towards emptying it of all its contents and dragging it to the sands of the shore, where it is laid until the season of the year after. And here, our story comes to an end with the sea. This vast world of wildness and adventures, which our forefathers, with their bravery, patience, and hard work, have solved some of its mysteries and secrets.